So spring is literally just around the corner. And or by the time you might be viewing this, it might have been officially spring because even though I might record it now, you may not get to see it for a while. Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Jan. Welcome to another episode on this channel, Save Money More with Jan Channel. What can we do to take advantage of spring? Well, first of all, go out and enjoy the sunshine, the flowers, the birds, the new smells. I noticed something. I know this sounds really weird, but to me, every season has its own scent. Fall smells to me differently than winter does. Spring smells to me differently than summer does. I don't know. Is it just me? Let me know in the comment section below. Anyway, hope that everybody is doing well. Thank you so much, very much for being here. There are things we could take advantage of for every single season, okay? Like you know it yourself, you really crave pumpkiny stuff all through the fall. Some people start as early as August with the pumpkin stuff, right? Then of course in the winter, those hot drinks that usually go on sale, hopefully right after the holiday season or even before certain drinks, hot beverages, right? And with the spring, there are other things. So springtime, people generally go out and maybe make additional contributions to their wardrobe. They want to refresh in their wardrobe, maybe buy a whole brand new wardrobe for the ones that do that, or for the ones that buy in little bits and pieces, and that's totally a-okay and totally fine. But take advantage of purchasing, even though your mind is on spring. This is the time to take advantage of prices of off season items. Like you might be able to get a really cool discount on winter jackets. But Jan, I don't want to think about winter. We're leaving winter. I know. That's the temptation. And that's one of the reasons why the stores clear their shelves, right? They want to clear their shelves for the spring and summer stuff. And they're desperate to do that and make that space. And more than likely, you will get to take full advantage of the better prices. That is precisely what I'm trying to say. Timing is everything. It really, really is everything. All right, so much for that. So take advantage of the good prices of the off season items. I'm just saying. I want to talk to you a minute about a cool trick. Suppose you want to make like a peach, what is that word? Dump cake recipe. Now, usually you could find a peach pie filling, but sometimes you can't. Especially in the spring, people tend to look for peach things. All right, I'm just saying. Sometimes you can't, but you can literally turn like peaches in heavy syrup. Like the regular peaches that you eat right from the can. I'm not talking about peach pie filling. It still has amazing peaches in it, but you don't have that ooey gooey. You know what makes that ooey gooey? One simple ingredient, more than likely. Might be some others, but one simple common ingredient that you have more than likely sitting in your pantry. And what would that be? What would that be? Okay. What do you think? Take a guess. What would that be? The stuff that you thicken your puddings with? Cornstarch. So here's a neat trick if you want to turn your just regular can of peaches in heavy syrup or light syrup. Drain the juices out, okay? And then add to it, or you could do it in one pan with the peaches if you want. I believe it's 1 teaspoon or 1 tablespoon of the cornstarch and cold water slurry. Make a slurry, but it has to be cold water. You don't have to have a ton of water, just enough, and then thicken it yourself. Stop thickening it. You don't want it overly thick. You got yourself your ooey gooey peaches right then and there. And in many instances, those canned peaches, the regular ones, like I just described, are sometimes a heck of a lot cheaper than the filling. So once you get the knack of it, voila, then you could go ahead. I've been noticing a whole like a tub full or truck full of whatever you want to call it, of a whole bunch of videos that have been coming up in my feed about dump cakes. They look so good. The only problem is most of them require to use a 9 by 13, or the correct mathematical way to say it is 13 by 9, actually. Length times width. Everybody says 9 by 13, but the old formula is 13 by 9. I don't know. I'm just saying. I think that's the correct one. Don't hold me to it. It doesn't matter. But we don't need to make that whole thing. Sometimes we could break the rules. What if your family of 1 or 2, you don't want to bake a whole thing like that? You could take the same method and put it in an 8 by 8 using less. Excuse me. A smaller can of the peaches, okay? Half of the crumble topping. Some people use cream cheese. I never tried it with the cream cheese. Have you? You have to know what I'm talking about, those dump cake recipes, but they look really good. I have made it without the cream cheese a year ago. It's way too good, and that's why I only made it a year ago. Because if left to my own devices, I would have probably made it maybe 3 times since. But no, on purpose. I said, no, this is too darn good and can only be reserved for a holiday. I like that crumble topping that you get. And I also did a little research, okay? A little research. And it said, I was curious to know about making good, cake crumbs for coffee cake. Because a lot of times I'm not satisfied with those crumbs. I like those big old chunky crumbs, whatever. You could take a box of cake mix like the white one, the white cake mix, and just melt some butter into that. And then you just make the crumbles. And then you just add it to the top to make your coffee cake. It's not going to look brownish. I would gather if you add cinnamon. I didn't do it. I'm going to try that one day. But wouldn't it make sense if you added perhaps a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of brown sugar, things of that nature? You could make that look a little browner if you need that. I don't really care. I don't care what color it is. I just care about the texture of the crumb. There's a local product around here that has the biggest crumbs on top of the crumb coffee cake. And it almost looks like there's more crumb than cake. I like a little bit of an even balance, but I don't like to have a coffee cake where you can't even see the crumbs. And that's another thing some people complain about. Have you ever made a crumb coffee cake and your crumbs sink to the bottom? I did some research about that. Why does that happen? It's happened to me in the past. I'm like, no, I don't want an invisible crumb cake. I want crumbs on there. But there are various reasons why it happens. Sometimes there's not enough butter, or sometimes it's weighing down too much. It goes down. So a possible solution is halfway during the baking process is to make your crumble and then put it on at that time, and there'll be less of a chance of it sinking. Or make those crumbles and maybe just add a little bit dusting of flour, because that's what I do, like when I don't want chocolate chips to sink or whatever, when I'm doing chocolate chips, so it stays within like that or above. So I have to try those tricks. Let us know in the comment section below, how do you avoid having crumbs sinking into your crumb coffee cake? These are all the things that I think about in springtime. People visiting, or after church, after a church function, or bringing to a church function or whatever. People like to bring these things to all these church social events, okay? So you're not going to bring sloppy old cake to a church social, no. Or to any social, but especially not a church one, no. They'll say, what? Anyway, have yourself an amazing, fantastic day. Don't forget to take good care of you and your amazing family. Now, if only this thing ends right. Let's find out. Click once. Be nice to me. Click once. Be nice to me. By the way, don't forget to click like, share, and subscribe as I try to enter or exit out of here. Thanks for being patient. Take good care, everybody. Bye-bye.